One thing I really love about programming is being able to write elegant code that has multiple uses. And Python is great for that because functions are first-class citizens. So what does that mean? It means they can be assigned to variables, passed as parameters to functions, and returned from functions. This allows us to do a really amazing thing called dynamic dispatch. But more on that in a little minute. First, the first-class citizen thing. Here is a script I prepared earlier. Here we have a function called myPrint function, and it returns print. Just print. Then I have a variable called printer, which I'm assigning the value of print. Then we have a few statements that do various things. Let me run the script and then we'll talk about what each thing does. This first thing just prints printer, and you can see it prints built-in function print. This next line can be very confusing. Here we're basically calling the function myPrintFunc. You can just replace that with the word print effectively. Then we have the brackets to call print, and we're saying hello myfunc, and you can see it prints. Then we're doing the same thing again, but over 2 lines of code. This is much easier for me to read. So func is equal to the result of myPrintFunc, and then we're doing func brackets hello temp, and hello temp prints. The last line is we're using printer hello printer, and that prints as well. Okay, so let's get to the really exciting bit, writing super flexible code using dynamic dispatch. So here I created a quick package just called basic maths, and this basically has an add function, a subtract function, a multiply function, and a divide function. Each one takes 2 numbers and outputs either an integer or a float in the case of divide. The important thing for dynamic dispatch is they all must take the same arguments as parameters. If we move to my dynamic dispatch program now, basically I'm importing regular expressions and I'm importing the add, subtract, divide, multiply functions from basic maths. I'm also creating a function called default which just takes star args and it's just going to return invalid operation. Next I'm creating a dictionary and I'm mapping each of the functions add, subtract, multiply and divide to their relevant symbol. In general, this is known as a dispatch table. In Python, sometimes it's known as a dispatch dictionary, and sometimes dynamic dispatch gets the name dictionary dispatch. The next line is just there to validate the input, and then user input is mapped to 100 divided by 5. This simulates an input prompt. We then actually run the compiled regular expression against it to filter out any crap and just return us with the sum, which in this case will be 100 divided by 5. If this didn't match the format of the regular expression, we'd actually get a non-match object. So then we run a simple if statement. If the match object is not none, then we split the group from the regex by space, and we put these into variables num1, symbol, and num2. In the event that the user didn't enter a valid equation, then we just put the values 0, default, and 0 into num1, symbol, and num2 respectively. Next, if I scroll down, is where the magic happens. Here, I'm getting the value that matches the symbol from the dictionary. So if the symbol is a divide, as we've got here, it will pull the divide function from the dictionary. And we store this function against the func variable. This effectively acts as a function pointer, which in this case points at divide. We then run this and return the value that that function returns into the result variable. And then we print the result variable. Just to see how this works, I'm going to run this now with each time changing the symbol and then eventually finishing off with some that are invalid. So first, I run it with divide. And we get the result 20. Then I'm going to change it to multiply, run it again, and we should get the value 500, which we do. Then we change it to minus, and we should get 95, and we do, and then we'll change it to a plus for 105. Now I'm going to change the symbol to something that doesn't exist, like an L, and run it again, and you'll see invalid operation, because it's now running our default function. If this is actually utter garbage, you should also get the default function, which gives invalid operation. So you can see here, we can switch out the function at runtime to give us the result we want. And now, if I want to expand my calculator, this main dynamic dispatch program only needs to change what it imports and also the dictionary that binds the symbols. And to prevent this, we'd actually create a separate file that handles mapping and the imports. So our main program only imports one thing. The huge bonus to this is I never need a QA to test my main code. They only need to test the new functions that I add. Now this is a small example and we could have done it the traditional way with ifs, else, or whatever, but as the program grows, it gets more and more complicated. So I like to use this approach wherever possible. This doesn't just work with functions, it will also work with classes, which leads us to a real-world example. I don't have code here because this would take us much longer to program. It would also take us a load of extra components outside of our programming language that we haven't even talked about yet, such as message queues. But imagine I have a queue of random messages in JSON format. These are all output from several different programs running in my ecosystem. I can write one main piece of code that's responsible for dequeuing a message, converting it to the kind of object it should be, and then validating it just by swapping out the functions for objects. I can then map other functions for handling the process of that said message. This can lead to a very large system being built over multiple components that run independently but share a common code base. If there's any issue with the core logic, I change it in one place and it fixes everywhere in the system. This kind of functionality is really amazing, and it's so easy to do, or at least prototype, in Python. Now, many languages such as C or even C# don't support directly classing functions as first-class citizens, but that doesn't mean you can't achieve the same thing. In C you could use function pointers, and in C# you can use delegates, but using both of these approaches will result in a ton more boilerplate code, which in Python we just don't have. I hope this video has sold to you just how great dynamic dispatch is. Now, what I've been thinking of doing is expanding this channel into more areas such as databases, message queues, and really trying to build example systems. So what I'd love to hear from you is if you want me to do this. If yes, just put yes in the comments. If no, just put no. And obviously, I'd love any additional feedback. And with that, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.